Yeah, Ben, I got to tell you, this whole Zoho One thing that you introduced me to, I'm telling you, it has made so big a difference in my business and how it's run and just being efficient and being effective. So I really appreciate you turning me on to Zoho. Um, but I'm kind of curious, how'd you even find them? How'd you get involved?
It was kind of a search. It truly was a search. I came out of a mainframe environment many, many years ago,
Okay.
and I really got tired of running code all day long because it was becoming more complex. I needed more people, and I decided to change the way we do business. So I started looking at applications we could customize and tailor for customers, and ran across a company called Telemagic, which Michael McCafferty started as remote control back in the 80s. And we worked with Telemagic until they were sold. And we started looking at other applications like Sugar CRM. We worked with that, Salesforce, just tons of stuff. And this was the early 2000s, and I really needed to be completely online. I saw
Okay.
that's where everything was going. Um, and during my searches and trying dozens of applications, I ran across Zoho.
Okay.
And first of all, I couldn't pronounce it because it sounded like Soho, but it's really Zoho.
Uh-huh.
And they started out as a company called AdventNet, doing IT, I guess IT maintenance and help desk and things of that sort some time back. In 2007, they've been in business as Zoho with some applications, 2 or 3 years, I think. But I ran across them and really liked how the products worked. I liked the ability to customize it. They had free versions, which I think back then everybody started with the free version. Right?
Right.
Um, and I really liked it, and immediately bought into that application. Played with it for a bit, and then we've been a Zoho partner for 13 years now.
Oh well.
So it's a good application. We really like the culture of Zoho. We like their stance on privacy and security. Uh, they protect your data. Your data is yours. They don't own it. They're not going to sell it anywhere. They're not going to double dip. So
Hmm.
that makes you feel real good. But they have just a broad range of products. And in the sales and marketing, there's finance, there's business intelligence, etc. You picked a buffet. Is the application that you picked.
Right.
Zoho One for those who don't know, it's about, I didn't say about, it's over 40 different applications that are all integrated and bundled into one suite of products. And that sounds like a lot, but it really is like a buffet.
Hmm.
You can go, you pick the applications that you want. You pick the meals that you like. You pick a side, 2 or 3 sides usually, something to drink. And after you finish it, you need to go back and get something else. Absolutely, you can. It's a broad range of products that you truly can run your entire business on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
I I know when I got Zoho, well, way back when you first introduced it to me, I of course got the free version, like just about anybody would, right?
yep, nailed it.
If I recall, I started with CRM. So Zoho, that was the big thing that I needed as a business owner.
That's the leading product for us also.
Right. Okay. And remember, we go back. So we go back to the days of ACT, and that's when we were you introduced me to CRM, and then you turned me on to Zoho, and I figured, okay, I'll try the free Zoho CRM, and then
Right?
what's that?
What can you lose?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's free. Right. It's free. Um, but then as the business grew and as um I guess we developed more products and we started doing more and just to integrate and make the business better and more efficient. Um, you said, I think it was just a text, and you sent me a text about Zoho One, and I really didn't know at the time that I needed it until I got it, and it's been like you said, that's the buffet. It's got 40 products, 40 plus products in there, and I had to write down all the products that I use in Zoho One.
I'd be interested to see what you use and how you like them.
Yeah, absolutely. So the main things I use, and I will tell you, CRM. So CRM is kind of obvious in terms of what I use. I think most businesses are going to have some sort of CRM in some manner. Um, but for me, my top, and I'm looking at my list. My top three are books, expenses, and social. I think yeah, I think for me, and I use, so let me tell you what I use. I use books, expenses, social, checkout, CRM, forms, sign, and work drive. I use those on a weekly basis. And the again, the beauty of Zoho One, for one flat monthly rate per seat, you get access to all of this stuff. You can use as much of it or as little of it as you want. But for me, in terms of streamlining, being able to take pictures, simple things, being able to take pictures of my receipts and have them sync directly to books, being able to schedule posts in social. I was thinking, which of these is number one.
You're a big social user, aren't you?
Yeah, social's big. There may not be a single number one for me, but it might be a tie between social. Yeah, probably social, expenses, and books. Those are my number ones. Like I'll create a post, schedule it. You can schedule it weeks out. You can schedule it months out. You can schedule it to repeat week after week. Um, and then you kind of set it and forget it. And it gives you analytics. It gives you all that stuff. Um, but it also, I'm telling you this. You already know it, but all the stuff talks.
Don't
It
go, don't bet on that.
it all talks, right? So when someone who's in your CRM makes a comment on one of your social posts, it's noted in CRM. When somebody, it identifies leads, it identifies people that um, respond to a post that might be a good lead based on other posts, and it's a
Oh,
very smart system, and it posts to all of my socials, Instagram, Twitter. Tells you what will work, what won't. If you have too many hashtags, if the video is too big, too small, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean it's great.
so
And then
you've got 8 applications that you mentioned. What's
yeah,
next?
um, I have tried. So of the eight that I use, um, I've tried more than the eight, and there's certain ones that for me just don't work in the way I do business, and that's okay. I have the confidence of knowing that I purchased this suite. This suite is mine to use, to customize. There's going to be new stuff that comes out, and I want to talk about that too. You sent me something. Is it Aratai?
That worked for me. I haven't found the pronunciation yet. It's
Okay.
Tamil, so that's almost as old as Sanskrit, if not older. So I'm not
Okay.
sure the pronunciation, but it's going to be gaining some ground, I think.
Okay. And that's a messaging. app. So kind of like
Yeah,
a Slack.
it's what problems that WhatsApp is having right now. Signal and several others are one of Musk is pushing. There's other applications that are more secure and more private, and that's what Zoho is looking at there. But
Okay.
they've got the infrastructure. Most of that's already been built in their business applications. So this is, I think, the first consumer app that they are introducing.
Okay. All right. Wow, that's great. You mentioned security, and you mentioned data security for people who are looking for that. That was not a for me. That wasn't the initial reason I came to Zoho, but it's an added benefit of being there. What would you say about the security of the data, how important that is to the company, and how that translates to the end user?
Well, they've got a very long security statement. It's online, and that starts with bringing new employees in. I mean, everybody has a background. Everybody goes through security training, um, and they. I'm pretty sure about this. They host all of their own applications. They're not using Amazon or Azure or any other product. They're hosting all of their own work. The only thing that's being done by somebody else, I believe, is the physical premises around this data centers are secured by a third party, but they maintain and secure everything else. Two-factor authentication, everything is badges, retina scans, everything that you could think of in the privacy statement, in the security statement.
Okay.
On the privacy side, they have they don't save your data, they don't sell it, they don't double dip. Um, their idea is your data is your data. I mean, you keep it. If you close your account, they'll hold it in a backup site, I believe, for 6 months, and maybe a little bit longer. But they'll maintain that data, and if you don't reactivate your account, it's wiped. I mean, it's completely done. Um, so there's no ads. You'll never see an ad on a Zoho product, and they're not in the business of selling ads and making their money that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel very good about the security and the privacy both of Zoho. And my business runs on it also.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. I'll add, so to the security, one of the things I love also is the ability to customize. So you can and to some people this is not a big deal. For just to be um, transparent, I'm a one man show, running my company, so I don't have to really worry about employees and stuff, and making sure that this department talks to that department, or anything like that. I don't have to worry about that.
So
So
you don't need to worry about user security and setting up roles and who can see this and who can see that.
right. So I don't have to. That's a great point. I need to be concerned about the security of my own data, because my data is the company's data, but not so much sharing of data between employees and what have you, like that. But from a customizable standpoint, and I think this would make a really, really big difference, with companies that are larger, and because this is very scalable, to larger companies, easy to add employees. I want you to speak to that, in terms of that scalability, because that won't so much affect me. But what would you say to folks who have 2, 3, 5, 10, 100 employees? How easy is this to integrate into their company?
Um, of course, I'm supposed to say it's very easy. If you're 10 and under, you probably have less things in place and less moving parts than an enterprise. So if you're 10 and under, uh, it's a good chance that something like Zoho One to fit very, very nicely into your business. Um, at that point, if you're a new business, you're probably using Google or maybe Microsoft Office. You're using the spreadsheets and Office platforms, and maybe two or three other applications. Uh, Zoho One fits nicely into that framework. They have two types of plans for Zoho One. There's an all-employee plan, which means that all full-time employees in the organization have to purchase a license, which is a user license from Zoho. And for the all-employee plan is $30 and $35 if you pay monthly, but annualized is $30 a month,
Okay.
which it's a good deal. It's a nice price seeing all the applications you get. And if you only get CRM and one other product, you're already at the price point of having Zoho One.
Right.
If you're a much larger organization, then maybe not everybody needs it. Maybe you're running a manufacturing business. People on the shop floor really don't need to use Zoho One. You might be using a timekeeping application somewhere, or you might be using People or Zoho Recruit, but they don't need all the features of Zoho One. So in that case, Zoho One can be purchased for $75 annualized or $90 per user. So if you've got a 1,000-person organization and only 10 people need Zoho One or the features within that product, then just 10 people get the flexible plan. But we've got some customers who only use some of the collaboration tools. We've got enterprise applications who only use some of the tools for communication in the employees.
Wow. Okay. So that really is flexible.
It's and some of those products are $1 to $2 a month, so it's not going to break your back.
Right.
But I took a look at some of the Gartner Magic Quadrants early before we started, and Gartner is one of the companies that they've really worked with this high and to the right formula of a quadrant to measure software applications and companies and where they fit.
Okay.
And Zoho last year was a visionary for enterprise low-code applications, a challenger for Salesforce automation, and a visionary for lead management. So, and part of that leads to one of the things that's through most all of Zoho products, particularly the CRM sales and marketing piece, is sales automation. I'll just give you just automation in itself, which is a workflow that you can build. If a lead comes in, you could automatically trigger a follow-up. You talk to the person on the telephone, you can automatically trigger an email to thank them and schedule your next call. Whatever you can think of that you normally do in the office, Post-it notes and a pen, you can probably automate it within Zoho.
Wow.
That you can actually blueprint the entire sales process into do this, we approve this, get it done, it goes to the next step. So you can manage your entire sales force if you manage is not proper words. Salespeople don't like to be managed. It helps them move through the process without having to do the tiny things that aggravate you all day long.
Gotcha. Okay.
How much customization have you done to your products? Because I know we haven't done any for you, and that's typically our core business.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's get into that. Definitely. So again, for me, not too much. That's the beauty of Zoho One. The products themselves work. They work, and because I don't have any employees, I don't have any departments that some departments need to see this data, some departments don't. We need to. I don't have that. I don't have that in my business. My customization I might I mentioned Zoho Forms, so I might customize a form for a particular part of my website. I'll customize brand colors, I'll customize logos, and what have you. But that's as far as I go. My workflows are very simple because I'm the only person involved in the workflow. You know what I mean? Um, to your point, though, there's probably folks out there who are not in my boat, who are in a different boat where they have multiple employees, even multiple departments. Um, Talk about what your company does to help these businesses customize and integrate exactly what they want with Zoho.
You're in a little bit larger organization. Um, you'll typically look at CRM first because that's typically low-hanging fruit. So many people are using spreadsheets, or they've become disenchanted with what they're using and want to move to something cloud-based or more comprehensive with a lot of workflow. The second thing, sometimes they will look at CRM, but they need campaign management for marketing. They might need project management once they land a deal and need to track activities, through that project. At that point, it makes more sense and it's less expensive for small companies to invest in Zoho One. So the way we look at it, when we bring a new customer or a new lead contacts us, we have an introductory meeting, then we look at their requirements, then we'll have a scope meeting, probably 2, before we even get to a kickoff meeting. And at that point, we're still going to be making customizations a month or 2 down the road, because a lot of customers pick up Zoho CRM as the first application.
Right.
Outside of the normal Office suites. So the first thing they bring in is Zoho CRM, for example. And that's a lot of complexity if you haven't used anything before. We like to say you don't know what you don't know. And as much as you can explain to me like I'm 5, I'm not going to understand a lot until I use it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our customers are like that. So we will build out a basic jumpstart process to get them up and running through, it takes probably 3 weeks or so to get that in place. Once they start using it, they'll start seeing other things that they can do, or that they'd like to do that they really didn't know before. It's not using anything like workflow or business automation before. It's kind of hard to visualize. You can flow chart your entire business, but it still looks just a little bit different when you try to automate that piece. Now, we found that most of our customers, once they go through the implementation, can do a large majority of that work themselves. Where we tend to find us doing a lot more work is on the integration side. We'll need to integrate different products outside of Zoho. We'll have to integrate and pull information or push information to other line of business applications. And there's some integration within Zoho that's not inherent to the product. You can build it, but it's not there because not everybody wants to do this one thing, but you do. So we build those. Majority of our business is in the deeper customization piece.
Okay.
One question I meant to ask you a little bit earlier: are you going to hire anybody else?
No.
Well, if you did, as you asked me this question sometime earlier, if you did, the only thing you would have to do, because you're paying Zoho yourself. You go through your credit card and you manage everything.
Mm-hmm.
The other side, we can bundle the licensing in with our services if you want. In your case, you're paying Zoho, you manage everything. If you want to bring another employee on, the only thing you have to do is add one more license.
Right.
That's right on your, just click your face in the upper right-hand corner, and you're in your account management and subscriptions. So you can add one or two people. You can change your edition if you want to.
Hmm.
And then you just go into the Zoho One administration, add another user and whatever customization you want, and there you go.
Well, and that's simple,
And they're running.
right? And that goes for whether you're going from one person to two people, or you just hired five new people, 10 new people. It's that easy to scale it, to add those, or to, hey, this person didn't work out, so we need to now block this person and we delete that person and add a new person.
I'm
Okay.
one of those believers of hire slowly and fire fast. So, yeah, that happens.
Right, right. Oh man, that's great. That is
So, yeah, if we're, if we bundle the licensing in with our applications and services, we typically will go ahead and add a user for you. We can do that.
I see. Okay. All right. So really, you end up being the, if everything is Zoho, you're almost the IT, the outsourced IT, or at least I outsourced technology department
Yeah,
for some of these companies.
we can do that. Yes.
That's great. That's
As,
great.
as a Zoho partner, we are we're supposed to provide first level support. If you've got an issue you can't understand, you can't figure it out, give us a buzz. If we can do it very quickly and knock it out, we'll do that. If it's something that we can show you how to do, we'll point you in the direction of how to do it, we'll do that. If it's something that happens to be real serious or um, a bug, or we just don't know how to do this one particular thing, we can open up a ticket with Zoho and we can follow that through the process with you.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. That's that definitely makes a difference. Well, I I appreciate you chatting with me. I know this is something we've been wanting to do for some time. Zoho has been great for me. Zoho has been great for my company. Um, and I think a lot of people out there have not heard of it, or they don't know what it can do. And I wanted to really bring you have this conversation with you so that people would know. So bring awareness to this great product. Um, in closing, what's the first step for a company who is interested in Zoho, wants to get some more information? What's the best first step to take? Uh,
Um, well, obviously, they're supposed to give us a call. Obviously, right? The reason for that is, as they're explaining what they want to do, maybe we can point them into another couple of applications that might do a job less expensive, or we can point them to a different edition possibly. But at any rate, we can provide some I shouldn't say free consulting, but in the introductory meetings, and all of these are no charge. Uh, we can help identify some issues that you might run into. For
okay.
example, are you using Google for email? Or are you using Office 365? Because the integrations are just a little bit different. Yes, you want to do CRM. You want to email to your customers? Sure. How often do you email? Well, we do it one or three or four times a week. And somebody else will go, well, we mail everybody in our mailing list twice a month because we have a mailing list and a newsletter. Well, that's a little different because now you're looking at campaigns or maybe Marketing Hub instead of CRM as being the primary target.
Right.
So,
Right. Well, that's great. Hey, so listen, I appreciate your time, my friend. Hopefully, this gets the word out a little bit better to the business community out there who is looking for a solution for efficiency and effectiveness, data management, sales management, all that stuff, all the wonderful stuff that Zoho One does.
thank you.
So
I'm glad you're a customer. Very
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Ben. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time.
all right. It's a bright sunny
We'll-
day in Richmond. Let's go ahead and walk through the neighborhood.
that's right. I'll think of you next time I scan a receipt.
Do that.
All right. Thanks, my friend.
Take care, David. Bye bye.
All right.